Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Tu, and today we're going to see what's going to happen to the market and what's going to happen to Bitcoin. I'm going to answer a few questions. If it's there a market crash, what's going to happen to Bitcoin, and I also going to answer another few questions that probably you asking now. So stay around. One of the things that I want to show you is actually what is going to be the dependency of the Bitcoin and the SP 500. It's actually one of the two indicators that I use, SP 500 for the market and the Bitcoin for any other coins or altcoins as a reference. And those two are the ones that I use, and this is what I built a comparison and see what is the dependency between those two. So I'm going to use a tool which is PowerBI, and if you want to see more information about this, you can check the link above where I explain how you can work with this tool and get the information from financial Yahoo, for example, and to gather all this information. So what I've done was actually get all the information from Bitcoin and the SP 500 for the last 5 years and see what's going on. So let's open this tool. So what we're seeing here is I separated this by year, by month, and by day to see what's going on and what's the tendencies. As we can see, this first row is going to be Bitcoin. The second row is going to be the SP 500. We have a tendency in the SP 500. We have a big sell on January, February, and then we have a big jump starting from March. This is the average between these 5 years. And if we check also on Bitcoin, it's exactly the same thing. So what we are seeing at the market at the moment and on Bitcoin is quite normal. And since we're working with the bull markets, this is quite natural that we see some correction afterwards. And this is a quite healthy bull. It's not as we've seen in certain bubbles, like the .com or the bubbles, like probably we've seen now in the EV market. But this is a different story. So what we're seeing, we're not seeing a crash. The market is not going to crash, probably in 2032. There's reports that this could happen at the end of 2022. There are some predictions. This also depends on the central banks what's going to happen and what they're going to put in the market in terms of spreads and charges that they're going to put on the banks. So what we are seeing at the moment, it's a market correction, and this is what's going to happen in the rest of the rest of the month or the next week. So I should say this is a nice time to buy this upcoming week. And let's see this now. Okay, so now let's play around with the filters to see what's going to happen on the upcoming weeks. Of course, you are seeing here a really strange graph because we don't have data from 18th towards. Anyway, one of the things also that could be strange is the fact that there's some data strange on 2016. Probably, I think was some kind of a crash, and this is not showing quite correctly. So let's put some values here in 2000. So we want all of them except this. Oh, this is the market. 1 second. Let me go here and put all except 2016. Okay, it's fine as well. Okay. Actually, as you can see here, I think actually it's okay, so it was actually 2021 what was affecting the day graph. So now one of the things that I want to do is actually put here in terms of the month. Okay, I have selected only January to see what's going on, and here as you can see on the day, which is the month of January, on both the market is always a drop on this week, on the upcoming week. So you're going to have a slight adjustments on the Bitcoin and also a slight adjustments on the SP 500. We are coming to a month that we're going to have earnings release, so this usually can go a little bit low or higher. So that's why on the fourth week we're going to have a big increase. Usually it's due to those earnings releases. On the Bitcoin, it continues to fall a bit the market. We could see also some increase here on the fourth week. So now let's see what we should do for the upcoming week. Okay, I put here some lines to see what's going to be the tendency of the market and the tendency of the Bitcoin. we have a support at 30k, and here around 3,700. In terms of the market, what's going to happen? Probably you're going to see a fall on this week for sure, and we may reach the $3,750, and then we'll continue up. In terms of the Bitcoin, what's going to happen is quite exactly the same thing. So we still have a bearish market, as we can see here, and is going to continue down maybe until the 32k or 30k. I'll just put an order. For example, in my case, I've put an order at 32k and another order at 30k, just in case if something happen, and if this goes down during the night, as happened during the weekend, which went down to 35k. And one of the orders that I had open, they got in. So this is something that we should have in consideration. If you want to be more conservative, probably you can put one as well at the 25k, just in case. But this depends how much you have money available. One thing for this week which is quite important is you need to have money available, because we're going to see some downs in some companies. We're also going to have some announcements from the United States government, where they're going to increase the taxation on the .NET companies, and all the FANGs will be affected, like Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, Facebook, Twitter, etc. Although Twitter and Facebook, they were affected by a different thing, but I do believe that Twitter and Facebook will increase in the upcoming months. Probably not this month, but in the next month will increase, and it's a good time to buy. So as you can see, we're not having a market crash. What we are having at the moment is actually a correction. This is something that's quite normal, and I've shown you the graphs in the past history. Exactly the same thing, exactly the same behavior, the same months, and this is what's going to happen in this upcoming week until the end of the month. But this is the tendency of the market for now. So in terms of performance of my portfolio this week, we outcome the market in 0.8%. The market went of US had minus 0.9, and the top 5 stocks for this week was WBA with 8.2, Alibaba with 7.5, Energy Transfer with 4.8, and the ETF XLE with 3.2%, which has been increasing in the past weeks, and also ABBVA with a 3% of increase. The worst performance was actually Twitter and Facebook, but we already know that, and this was a time to buy. Twitter was one of the stocks that I had this week. I didn't have before, and I thought it was a good time to buy. Although I'm just continuing to do some average until they increase back up again. Once again, I have updated my spreadsheets where you can copy with, for example, 500. I don't recommend to copy with 200, at least the minimum at 300, because of the percentage that will not be copied because of the value, which is less than $1. So that's why I recommend always 300 above. One of the questions that I had for some people was trying to understand how my spreadsheet works. So one of the things is why I do have here taxation with a 30% or 0%. So what's happening is every single stock has a tax on the source. So what's going to happen is eToro never going to pay the entire value, going to pay the dividends minus the tax that's for that country, which in this case of US it's 30%, and on UK it's 0%. So that's why I've changed some stocks into the UK market instead of the US. One of the things is the average may change depending on the type of investment that you do. More investment, more close this come to my portfolio. Less investment, less transactions will be done. So this is something that we need to have in consideration. You may change these values here. This is actually the values that you have in terms of percentage on your portfolio. What is the balance? The balance is actually the money that I have apart in case of a crash or in case of a correction. So in this week we're going to have a correction in the market, and this is why I have this balance in order to average or buy new stocks like I've done with Twitter this week. So I'm updating the spreadsheets every single Friday at the end of the market close, and this spreadsheet is now updated, and you can see how much you can win if you copy me. So in this case, you're going to with the $300, you're going to have at least $1 after tax every single month for the 300 investments. Bear in mind that this is the value compared by the total investments, not the dividend yield. The dividend yield is actually of 5.7% based on the total investment that you do, but in reality, after tax, it's going to be a 4.61%. So this will give you a real dividend yield after tax, which from there you can see the total return that you're going to get. Okay guys, once again, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the like, and see you next week. Cheers.